Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Chani and I'm a homeschooling mom to 3 kids, ages 13, 6, and 2. And today I'm participating in the collaboration with Nicole from Secular and Free Homeschool. And today's topic is books every homeschooler should read, or books every homeschooler should have. Now, a lot of these books that I'm about to share with you are part of a series. But I have opted to go through and select just one book in each series, and I will show you that book, and then you can go look and see if there are other books in that series that you'd like to purchase if the one that I'm specifically showing isn't one for you. But the first thing that I'm going to show you here is this series, and I don't know if I'm going to butcher the way that this is pronounced, but it's Minalima, I think is how you pronounce that. This series of classics, I swear to you guys, is the most beautiful series of books I've ever seen in my life. And they've got Peter Pan, they've got Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, like all the classics. Right now I'm actually reading this book aloud, and oh my gosh, so it's got the most beautiful illustrations like ever. Like the book itself is just gorgeous. It is heavy to hold with one hand, so that is a downside, especially if you have to hold like a toddler while you're reading aloud. Sometimes it can hurt my wrist. But as I'm gonna try to find for you, there are these like little like interactive elements to these books. I personally own 3 of them. I'm not gonna try to pull it out, but that's a map. This is the actual letter from Dickens in here that you read. Like, so whenever it says that she writes the letter to Dickens, you open this up to read it. This is the snake charmer. And I'm trying to find, here it is. Yeah, this is, I think, my favorite. So here are your, oh, I'm going the wrong way. So it shows like the calendar passing over time. And they all, like Alice in Wonderland has a really cool, like Humpty Dumpty. They all look really good because the, I have the Wizard of Oz one as well. And that one, like the Yellow Brick Road, has like a really cool 3D component to it. But yeah, so these books are gorgeous. And if you really want to invite, you know, everyone to kind of gather around and look at it, these are just the most beautiful set of books I've ever seen in my life. So highly recommend. The next series that I highly recommend are these Welcome to the Museum series. Now, I picked the smallest book of the series that I have just because it makes it easier for me to film. But normally these books are like friggin' absolutely huge. But these are kind of exhibit style. I would say that these are probably better for a little bit older kids. But so each page will have this exhibit here, and then like almost like the plaque, and then there's the main plaque, and then like even more extended information down here at the bottom. And these books again are just gorgeous. I'm a sucker for pretty books, and these are that. This one in particular I used when we were doing prehistory a couple years ago, and I still fondly look back on that. It's also good for pulling if you do like drawing narrations. I would have my my oldest son pick which one he wanted to paint or draw or illustrate, and then he would write his narration after he illustrated it. So yeah, and then these they have it's like planetarium, dinosaurium, oceanarium. I don't remember. They have a lot of them. I just picked this one because it was small, but these are absolutely gorgeous books. They have them on almost every topic, and I think it's a really good resource. The next thing that I have to show you is the Story Orchestra. I pulled out the Hall of the Mountain King, in the Hall of the Mountain King, because it is right now, I think it's my son's favorite classical song. But the way that these work is, if I can fit it in here. So you read it, and it's got the background music to play, and it tells you the story of the piece of work. So it tells the backstory to in the Hall of Mountain King. I love these books. So yeah. So yeah, Story Orchestra. This is also a whole series. You can get a bunch of different classical songs in this series, and I think that these are just so good, especially if you don't know what to do as far as like music appreciation of classical music. I think that those are a really great start. The next I have to show you are these National Geographic book of whatever poetry. I have Book of Nature poetry. There's also like Book of Animal poetry. These collections are beautiful. The photography is beautiful. And yeah, I just think that these are really great for like poetry study if you do. Where you just I kind of just open up my book and we read one poem a day. And if you alternate between poetry books or if you do poetry tea time, these are just gorgeous books. The poetry is really rich. I really like the selections of this book in particular. I think that they're beautiful, and a couple of times just reading the poetry aloud has really moved me personally. So yeah, highly recommend this series. The next thing that I have is this Everything You Need to Know to Ace Whatever in One Big Fat Notebook series. I have, I think, all of them. There's computer science, math, social studies, or not social studies, computer science, math, language arts, world history, American history, science, biology, chemistry, geometry, pre-algebra and algebra 1. Like, it's all of them. So if you have, this is geared towards middle schoolers. I think that you could probably get away with using this for elementary as well, especially just as a resource. But it's written in the context that you're reading the smartest kid in class's notes. So if you remember taking notes, if you're ever like an AP student like I was, this is probably what your notebook looked like. And then at the end, it's got to check your knowledge section with questions, which you could either use as a test or you could just read aloud to review. But I think that these are really great resource books. Next, I have DK, this absolutely stunning series of books. I have, the one that I'm showing you here today is an anthology of intriguing animals. They also have the Wonders of Nature. I think I showed the Planet... the one, or what is it, the Mysteries of the Universe, which is the space one, in one of my previous videos. I really, 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 really cannot sing the praises of these books. I love it. And if you have elementary age students, these are even better because you can just open up your page and there's this gorgeous illustration here. And then there's just this blurb of information about it, and you can do it. There's so many different animals in here, and it's just gorgeous. I feel like no matter how high I get you guys, you're still not able to see very well. I don't know what's going on today. I'm a hot mess. But yeah, so I love this series. It has made, you know, just a brief exploration into topics super easy, because I can always go pull these off the shelf and be like, you know, if my son's like, I want to learn more about a kangaroo, I can pull it off and be like, here you go. Kangaroo. Often I will just take these books and open them to a particular page and just leave them open, and my son will come in, see it open, and he'll read the page as he goes. Kind of set it out almost like an exhibit in a museum, and you know, almost always if they walk by and they see it sitting out and open, they will read it. The next series that I have to show you is the Usborne Encyclopedia series. I have world history, geography, and science. But this one I chose specifically because I think it's the one that we've opened the most. And I used to use it for my oldest. He would actually read aloud the chapter. I do prefer prefer these encyclopedias over some of the DK encyclopedias. I'm sorry to say that, but as busy as this page looks, it feels less busy, and the language is like more approachable for my kids specifically. Like, they don't sigh when we're reading this as a source material, and these are really great spines. Like, if you want to do a unit on a particular chapter of history, like the Ice Age, this would be a great spine to work from. Just because, like, it's broken down really, I don't know how to explain it. I just really love this book. We pull this book out a lot. And I hope, we haven't read it all the way through yet, but I hope to one day have read through the entire book with my kids. So yeah, there's that. And we are almost done. I have 2 more to show you. This one is probably the most used book in my homeschool ever. And this is Sing a Song of Seasons, a nature poem for each day of the year. And as my kids get older, fix you guys there. This book, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll always be relevant. But it's, the way that it's set up is it's separated out into the months, and then there's a poem for each day of that month. So if we like miss any days or whatever, I just open it up and I read the poem of that day. That's it. That's all you have to do. I don't make it any fancier than that. And I think it's a really good selection. Sometimes the poems that you get will be like row, row, row your boat. And sometimes the poems that you get will be like really long and thought-provoking. So it just depends. The illustrations are really pretty. These just make, I don't know. This isn't a series. I think this is the only book like within this series. I'm not sure. Somebody can let me know in the comments, but this is the only one that I have, or that I have seen. But I really love this book. This is 100% the most used book in my homeschool that I've ever purchased. And I highly recommend it. It's very sweet. Okay, and the very last book, and this is also a series that I have to show you, is the Year Full series. So they've got like Year Full of Dickens, Year Full of Shakespeare, that's what I'm looking for, a year full of poems. I have a year full of stories, 52 folktales and legends from around the world. We've been going through this for about a year now, and it is 3 to 4 stories per month of different folktales. Now, this does include religious stories as folktales, so it's something to keep in mind if you even if you use secular material. If you are, for example, like a Christian family that uses secular material. Let me see if I can find, I know in September there was Jonah, right? Was it September? Yeah, it was September. So it will include, like Bible stories in here. There will be stories from the Torah. There will be stories from the Quran in here. Hindu stories, Buddhism stories. There's stories from different kinds of religions in here. So if you have a particular religious conviction, I would kind of caution you, maybe check it out from the library or something first to look through it to make sure that it doesn't like conflict with your beliefs. But for us personally, this doesn't conflict with our beliefs. And I actually really like that it includes all of these different stories, because I do think that they're very culturally relevant, right? And they're going to be referenced a lot in the writings and, the music of the people who, believe in them. So I really love this book. And like this one has a non-C. Yeah. So that's it, you guys. That's all the books that I think that every homeschooler should have. What books do you think every homeschooler should have? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.